Hi, everybody. This is Carol with CarolJo's. CarolJo's is an online jewelry and accessory business, and we do lots of things here on our lives. Today, I am live on both YouTube and TikTok, and we are waiting for both communities to let people know that we are live. So, what we do here is twice a week, I will do tutorials. Twice a week, we have chat time. Once a week, we have bead sales. The bead sales are done on TikTok only. And then once a week, we do jewelry sales. And then on Fridays, I go live a second time, and it'll either be a jewelry sale or a bead sale. So that's what we do here. Today is a chat day. And we talked about what we'd be talking about earlier this week. So hi, Sour Rose. Hi, Tess. And what we are going to be talking about today is how we do shipping with our small businesses. And this is an interactive chat. So you guys, if you have questions, put it in the chat. If you have comments or advice or what worked or didn't work for you, go ahead and please put it in the chat. Hi, Michelle. So we are going to be talking about that. I don't know if Rachel was the one, I believe, from yesterday on, I don't know why my skin is so shiny right there. Rachel was the one that was talking about using PayPal, I believe it was. Thank you, Michelle, for the Heart Me gift. I appreciate that. So I don't know if she was going to be able to join us or not, but I did do some Googling on it before we came live. So in case she couldn't come, I could tell you guys what I did from my Google research, because I'm all about the Google. So for me personally, I use Shopify's shipping when I ship out. As where I buy my labels from. But also, I want to take a step back before we talk. All right, I hope you love them. I want to take a step back and talk about how to prep for shipping too, and include that in here. So my advice is what worked for me and what I do. And I'm going to move this over just a little bit. Sorry, YouTube. Just so that they're closer together. And I don't feel like I'm going, because I'm live on two devices today. So this is my story, what experience for me, and I want to share what I've done with mine. You guys can take that and decide what you're going to do for your own shipping. And that's where I'm coming from. So when I made decisions that I wanted to do the online presence, I decided I needed to do research. I literally did, to figure out hi Chris, what was the best way to ship. And it wasn't just about who I got my labels from or what I did there. I really spent time looking into how to package my packages to ship, how to do a lot of different things to prep for it. In the beginning, because I didn't want to come off as not professional and handwrite who I was sending everything to. Every once in a while, I will send you something in a handwritten envelope or something like that. But I am trying very, very hard to have a professional look and create the shipping labels. And that was very, very difficult to finally figure out. First of all, I went and bought labels that were the stick labels that went through my regular inkjet printer. And what I found out by that is I was going through a lot of cartridges on my inkjet printer. And the cartridges are not cheap. And I was like, oh, dang, how do I decrease my cost? Remember earlier this week, we've been talking about budgets, and you need to always think about how can you manage your expenses, how you can manage efficiencies and that type of thing. And the inkjet printer takes a while to warm up and to print out. It took a while to do it, and the cartridges were really, really expensive at the end of the day. I even went out and bought a different inkjet printer that had a less expensive ink cartridge, and it still it was expensive. To me, it was expensive. So I had to sit back and think about what else could I change. And I ultimately ended up buying a thermal printer and doing that. Yes, the labels for it range in different costs depending on the size of the labels that you're putting on your packages and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, the cost per label plus the thermal printer cost was less than it cost to do the ink cartridges and have that inkjet printer, and then the cost of the labels for that. So, and I was doing the 4x6 size labels on both. You can buy for the inkjet 4x6 labels and you get like 2 to a page. But then you have to like sit there and flip the labels to go the right way to be able to use both of them because you only print one at a time. And it just wasn't, to me personally, the inkjet printer was not profitable. Hi, Rachel. And that type of thing. So that is why I made a decision to go with a thermal printer. I do not have a wireless thermal printer, so I have to do it at my desk. I can't take it with me to go down to a different room to print or anything like that. I am stuck with where I am doing my labels at and my shipping, where my printer and my computer are at. Do I want to get a Bluetooth one, wireless? I don't know yet. I have been pricing them out, trying to make a decision. They're more expensive than the other ones, so I haven't made the plunge yet. So that is part of what I have done with the printer and printing my labels. Thank you for the follows for the 2 that just followed. Some of the other things that I thought about, I said I wanted to have the professional look, and that came down to trying to figure out what I could use. What can I actually use to get those printer or to get that to happen? My ultimate decision was in my Shopify, which is what I use to power my website. They do have printing label options available. You also have the option that you can, within there, put in different apps to do different shipping. So there is, I can't think of the name of it right now. It's Ship Something. Cannot think of the name of it. But it's an app that you can put in the Shopify and you can do different things. That app will allow you, if you're larger, to be able to create pick lists, give you the location of where your item is at in your warehouse. You can do the actual packaging, the slips that go in the packages, and your labels all in one. That app is like $10 a month, plus the cost of the shipping. And then there is so many transactions that you can do in a month for the cost of like $10.99, or it was like $9.99 a month. If you went over that many labels that you were printing or that many orders that you were printing, then you'd have to go to a higher cost plan. And I just didn't want to spend money on that. I'm frugal. So I decided not to do that. I just went with the normal printing of the label within Shopify. I do get discounts. So for example, if you get from me, the package that is the 6x4 box that's 2 inches deep in a gray poly mailer, that can be it costs me anywhere from like around $4 to up to $8.50ish to mail that per package. That's based on usually weight when it's in the poly mailer. You can also go and use the priority mail envelopes and boxes from the post office if you're shipping out by USPS. And those start at $8.80, and that's the discounted price. So when I say I pay $4 to $8.50 for the ground, and that's what it's called, it's Ground Advantage with the gray poly mailer, I am saving anywhere from $2 to like $3 on each package. You can see when you go to mail it how much it would be if you were just to go to the post office and pay it versus doing it through the app. The 880, I'm trying to think, it's 10 something or 11 something regularly. So you save a couple of dollars that way by going through the app or going through Shopify. Then the next size up is like the small, medium, and large boxes. And there is a bigger discounts on those as you get to the bigger packages. So those of you that have had large orders or heavy orders, I go to and flip it to priority mail, because at some point my little poly mailer boxes are going to be more expensive for ground rate than to move it to priority. So you'll see sometimes you'll get that little 4x6 box in a poly mailer. That's a USPS priority one. And it's because it was going to be $9 or more to mail it. And so I flip it. And I get those options in the app to do that. So when I went and did the video, and Rachel, you can, since you use this, you can chime in. When I looked at the videos and did the Google of using PayPal, PayPal does the same thing and gives you the same discounts. And I ship probably 95% of my packages by USPS. It happens to be the cheapest one. But I also, in Shopify, you can do UPS and DHL. Where I live at, do not have a local DHL place to like drop off the packages and stuff. So I don't use DHL. Shopify, or within PayPal, it looks like it's going to probably be a similar discount. And they just use UPS and USPS. They don't do DHL there. So, but what it is that the carriers have a contract with that entity. So like for me, those 3 carriers that I said, they have an agreement with Shopify. And so I'm like, okay, so you make the decision. I was going to say, she said, Rachel's got in there that it's super cheap for UPS even. And I know there are times when UPS is like 10 cents cheaper than USPS. So there are times that, yes, it is even cheaper than the post office. I end up doing it straight with the post office. And that is just the way I do it, because my husband is a postal carrier. He's working today doing mail. He only does it one day a week now. So I look at it as I'm supporting his job area. So that's why I usually choose the Postal Service over UPS when it gets to that point. But if my costs were going to be $1 or more, I go with UPS. So I look at that every time I am clicking on to get the rates. And so from my experience, when I go in, I go and I package your box up, and then I take and weigh the box, because I need to know the weight of the box to determine the rate. And then in my Shopify, I have all the different box sizes or mailer sizes that are available and even my 4x6 or my 6x4 poly mailer, I even have that in there as a custom one. Yep. Okay. Oh, you're not so late. We're just talking. So that is where I end up going in, weighing the package. Then I put the weight and what package size I want to first start out with to determine my rates. And I put that in there, and it will give you what it will cost for what you selected. It will also give you a list of what it would cost if you changed it. Thank you. Hi, I'm Sky, for the follow. And then I go in, and once I determine, okay, which carrier and which size do I want to go with, then I go and I click a button that says buy the label or something. I can't remember what it says, but you just really, truly just click a button. And then from there, it will pop up another screen that says, do you want to print the documents? You can select in there if you want to print the documents for your shipping label and for your packaging slips. So those of you that have purchased from me know you get a 4x6 label of all the items that are in there. So sometimes it can be one label long. Sometimes I've had it up to 20 labels long. All those labels, I can just do the packaging slip and then it automatically prints them out because I print both documents at the same time. You can do it however it works for you. Some people can do it where you print that packing slip and then you can go pick your order. Well, when I'm doing my live events, it's all just sitting here in front of me. I've got them in baskets based upon who has purchased it. So I just grab your basket, put it in the box, and then I've already double checked when I'm working the screen that the items are in there. And so that's been what I do. I just print them both at the same time. Then after I print them, I staple all the packaging slips that are for your order together, write a little note on there and put it in your box, or sometimes I'll put it on top depending on how full your box is. And then I put it into the either the box, the bubble mailer, or the poly mailer that I had selected before. And then I end up putting the packaging label on it and shipping it out. So that is how I do my orders. When I looked at it from the PayPal side, PayPal, you do select which size, your carrier, you will select what you want for the size of package, all of that. There was just a couple more clicks to it, I think, than what I have. But I think it might be because my back end for Shopify saves some of that information and I don't have to change it. But otherwise, it can work. So if you're someone that doesn't have a website yet and you're doing the sales through the live and need a way to get that professional looking label, you can invoice your customers through PayPal. You can then have the individual pay in PayPal, and then you can do the label in PayPal. The one thing that I didn't find out, and so Rachel, if you can let me know, if they didn't pay for it by PayPal, let's say they used Apple Pay or Google Pay, that type of thing, I don't know how you would create the label outside of if it wasn't paid for by PayPal. And that was something I just haven't had time to figure out. So I don't know if PayPal is that you have to pay for it through PayPal, like the person. You can, okay, and I will do some research on that and get back to you guys on it. I know Square has a way that you can create an invoice and email it to them. I have not used Square in years. See, and I end up, so when I do my giveaways, if that individual has not made a purchase, and I end up holding the giveaways for a little while, just in case they want to make a purchase, and then I can put it in there. But after, I try to get it done by the end of the month, that throughout the month, any of them that have not purchased, to get it out. So sometimes those are not the fastest going out as my other stuff, but I have a way in PayPal, or not in PayPal, I'm sorry, in Shopify, that I create an invoice for them, and then I mark it as like they paid me and make it for 1 cent. Then I can do my label and it's not a problem. And I'm not charged any fees on that 1 cent or anything like that. And I just create a 1 cent transaction. And then I'm able to get my label and I can mail it out. When I mail out the freebies that are won, I do not put tracking on those. I can choose to not have tracking on my packages when I'm in Shopify. I choose to do the ground advantage, and that gives you guys the tracking. I feel like when you've purchased from me, I want you to track it. If it's a giveaway, the minimum amount to send something out on ground advantage, I think now is $3.80 a box. And for something that I'm giving away, I know I'm being frugal when I say this, I don't want to pay $3.80 to mail that. I'm okay paying $1.50 to mail it, and that's my personal decision. Everybody can do what they would like. So that's what I do for shipping. And then you will, because it's done through Shopify, when I purchase the label and you get the tracking information, an email and a tracking information automatically. I don't have to do anything. I literally, once I pay for it, it assigns the tracking to it, gives me the labels, and we're all those emails that you guys get after that. I didn't do anything to automatically. I just clicked in my setup of Shopify that I want it to go out. It truly is a canned email. When I mean canned, it's what Shopify did. I did not update the email going out. I can, I just chose not to. I was okay with the out of the box canned email. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say there. You get to choose like all different kinds of things that you do when you do emails in Shopify. So like when you place the order, your first email, that's automatic, and mine is set up to be that. The email to send out invoices, I did change that a little bit. Yep, automatic email. So yeah, so I literally, the only email that I actually even have any option to touch to modify before going out is the invoice email that I do for the live events. But if you would go into my website and make a purchase off my website, every single email from my website is automatic. And that's what I love about the automation of Shopify and what I pay for. It just gives a professional look to everything because everything is consistent. When I first did my website, I did do transactions to see what the emails would look like, and I was okay with them. They had all my branding and such, so I was good. So what questions do you guys, I've been sitting here talking, and I forgot to tell you guys on TikTok that if you do 10 shares and 10K of the likes, we'll do a giveaway. And I do have bead soup and jewelry. We'll give you an option of bead soup or jewelry. And I don't know how they do this on YouTube. I'm still learning. I told you guys I was going to go live on YouTube. I did my first one yesterday as a just a test run. And then now I did mine for the first that's like actual. So yes. So if we got to the 14 already on the share, so we got that part. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Rose, for doing the hashtag FYP. That gets it out to more people to join us. So for me to go live, today I did not bring up my backup account to do comments. Because of having two devices, I wanted to focus here instead of going over here. So really, truly, you just need one device for each social media that you're going on at the same time, in all honesty. So like right now, I am live on YouTube and I'm live on TikTok. I have two cell phones so I can do that. So I could go live at the same time. I used to only have one phone, and that was meant that I would go live on one, and then I would turn around and go live on the second one, giving the same information and doing the same thing. And I was like, to me, remember we talked about how can you budget to manage efficiencies? And to me, I had to save up money and justify the cost to have two devices. You will see, because of the way I do my live sales, because it's based upon comments, I do have my iPad on the side so I can go back through and look at comments. If you chose to do your lives and do the sales like through TikTok Shop, I don't think that you would need two devices, but I don't do TikTok Shop, so I don't know. You can use a tablet to go live with. What I have found, you guys will see every once in a while, I do go live on TikTok with my iPad. My iPad's camera is not as robust as my iPhone cameras. I use, of all things, I don't use the latest, greatest iPhone. I have iPhone 14 Pro. but I wanted the Pro so that I could have the better camera. And I know I could probably buy a Pro tablet and get the better camera, but I just decided I wasn't going to spend the money for that. I'd rather have two phones and do that. It's cheaper to do the two phones. Hello, Rose. Thank you for joining me on TikTok. And as I say, hi, TTH. Okay, so when I decided packaging, I have a great person that I could ask, and that was my husband. He is actually the person that is delivering it to your mailbox. So we sat down and we had a discussion at our house about that. And that was when you get it and you're putting it in the mailbox, what fits easier in the mailboxes? What is easier to handle while you're handling it? Because I'm looking at it that my decision wasn't based just on what was easiest for me. I wanted to understand the process of when you ship it, what size packages get lost more, so I could go to the postmaster and we could do research on what got lost more. Was it the small poly mailers? Was it the boxes? That type of thing. So I was able to have a lot more research into it than most people get. And it's just because of having a spouse that works at the post office. So the boxes actually are easier for them to all handle and go through the system. And at the end of the day, things don't come as disrupted in a box as they will in a poly mailer. And what I mean by disrupted is I didn't want, as you guys know, I have jewelry that is glass pendants. I didn't want those to break before they got there. What was the best way to do that? And so that is why I chose to do boxes. It is more expensive to do a box than to do the bubble mailers. But in the end of the day, it wasn't a lot more expensive. I mean, we're talking like 30 cents a package more. Yes, when you get to 100, that's $30. If we got to 1,000, that's going to be like a lot. But the thing is that was my decision to make, and that's what I chose to do. And then it came down to the size of the box, and I used two different sizes, and it came down to the cost. I could do smaller boxes, but the smaller boxes actually cost more than the 6x4s. And I chose 6x4x2 because it fits into a poly mailer very easy. And then the labels fit on it just right because your labels are 6x4. So that's where that came down to. I've had larger orders, and when I started getting larger orders, I end up going with a 9x6x2, I believe is the size, or it's 9x7x2. I can't remember. I'd have to go look for the larger ones. And those fit into the priority bubble mailer very easily. So that was my decision behind it. And I didn't want to just put the box and put labels on the box and send it out. I chose to put them in poly mailers on top of it just to give it added security. Okay, so what I do is I change. So those of you that have gotten large orders from me, I go first to the 6x4x2. And if everything can fit in that is where I do it. Oh, you're welcome. If you guys have more questions, go ahead and ask them. If it's a little bit larger, I go to that 9x6x4 or 9x7x4, that size box. I've had orders that are a lot more than that won't fit in one of those. So I go to the medium size priority ship box. That is 11 something by 13 by something. And that one lets me put 2 of those larger size boxes in it. And then I've even done the large size. And when you can't get these size boxes at a lot of the post offices, you have to ask for them, or you can go and order them off of the USPS website. But there is a game board size box. And that one allows me to put 3 of the larger size ones, I think it is, in there. So that is where I end up. I go to the post office and get boxes. And and when I have to order them, at the first when I was doing the priority mail envelopes and boxes, I could just go to my husband and say, hey, grab a couple, bring them home today. I ended up using all of theirs at the post office he was at. And so the postmaster, he's a friend of ours, so he's just like, Carol, order them online. We can't keep up. And I'm like, I can do that? Seriously didn't know it. So that's why I'm telling you this. So you can go on to USPS, you create yourself an account there, and then you can just go in and order them. It takes like a week to get them though. So you got to plan ahead with that. And I just do them in bulk. And if I run out, I just go to the post offices and get them. And I live in the middle of this area. For me, it's perfect. I can use the post office that my husband works at. We have two smaller towns that have post offices, and I can go in and get them from there too. So within 10 miles, I have 3 post offices that I can go get the mailing boxes from. So yes. Hi, Marcella. So yes, okay, I'll show you my trays. And the reason why I do white boxes too, you can do different color boxes. The different colors do cost more. So the white boxes do cost more than if you went with the craft color. But my color scheme of my business is gray. It's white, shades of gray, black, and a specific color of green. You don't see the green very often. It's more on like my social media that slide that I have when we do like the Monday motivational things. So that's what I do. And so what it is that I did a white box, and if your box is not completely full, I do put in black shred paper. And I found a place that the shred paper was like less expensive than other places. But the thing that you got to remember about shred paper is that it's weight. And so you end up paying a little bit more because you got shred paper in there. But that fills up my box. And I don't go with a smaller size box because it actually costs more money to do like a 4x2x2 or a 4x4x2 box than it did to just do the 6x4 and fill it with a little bit of shred paper. When I go to package my jewelry, so most of everybody here buys beads from me, but when you buy jewelry from me, you will see it comes in a black and white bag, and the patterns change because I found a place where I can just buy different black and white bags in bulk, and there's just a little bit of each one in there. And then I put them in there, and then I roll it up, and then I put a sticker on there that has my logo on it that is made from my thermal printer. Where what? So that's why, Rachel, when I only have 1 or 2 necklaces or earrings or bracelets, I use that box, that same box. And then I will show you here what I do. And then I'll show you my trays, Mimi. I said I was, and I will. I'm going to grab one of the boxes and I'll show you how they come. And you guys, I'm going to tell you a funny about the boxes too. Okay, so this is how, when I have, my hands are swelling, so I had to take my jewelry off, so they feel funny because they're swelling. I went and did tags for my jewelry. So if you're getting earrings, or not earrings, sorry, a necklace or a bracelet, you're going to get a tag, and they look like this. And I just bought stamps on a white tag and printed it or just stamped them. So they're not perfect, and I'm okay with that. This is my small business, and I want it to be, I don't want it to be 100% perfect because we're not 100% perfect, but I'm okay with it. This is my thermal printer labels with my my logo on it. So, no, I do not have the Rollo thermal printer. I bought a thermal printer on Black Friday a couple of years ago, and it was half price, and it's a Munbun or something like that. It's M-U, hold on, I'll go look at it and I'll spell it. M-U-N-B-Y-N, Munbin. So that is the thermal printer I use. And it just, you have to put the thermal printer as a printer into your computer, which that was the first time I've ever done it because I've had kids that always put my printers into my computer. So that was like, whoop. So yeah, but I did it. So it wasn't that difficult. But when you buy boxes, so this is the white box that I do. They come flat. They literally do come flat. That makes shipping easier. When I say craft color, you can buy boxes that are this color. And that if you buy them with this color, this is the most inexpensive size or color of a box. Oh no. I used to work when I was in college at a plastic bag factory. So your garbage bags or your Ziploc baggies, I worked at a plastic bag company that made those. And that's where I learned how to fold a box. Also, if I would have gotten this, I would have been like, YouTube video, please. But there are different ways that you can just go ahead and you fold them up. And it's taken me, and every time I order them, if I get different boxes, so this one is one that just flips in like this. There's another one that I've had where they slide into here to shut instead of going inside. So I prefer, these are cheaper with the little tabs this way. Just to let you guys know, this is cheaper. The other one I think I like better, but these are actually a little bit, they're like 5 cents cheaper a box. So you guys can let me know that have purchased from me, which one do you guys like better? In all honesty, I really would like that feedback. But that's, you fold the box. But before you fold it and send it out, like if I have just jewelry going in, I usually don't fill up the box. So I will go and I fill it up with black shred. The lady that I found, and I'm thinking it's a lady because the company is called Mrs. Fizz. And I thought it would be like, when it was Mrs. Fizz, I thought it was like the fizzy stuff that you, like bath bombs and stuff. But no, she's like a paper lady. You can get whatever color. And they, so I went with black. You can do gray, but I went with black. Okay. So yeah, so that is, I was going to say, I'm going to go back and look at comments because I don't have it. Nope, it is not a computer program. So what happens is, these, I went and created a Word doc. So I used Canva to create my logo. And then you can take that and download it into, download it. And when I downloaded it, I put it into a Word doc, positioned it just right, saved it as a PDF. And ultimately, this is where I ended up, I print them from. So yes, I used Canva to create it, download it to Word, got it where I wanted it exactly, and then saved it. Because I have different sizes saved of my logo, so that's how I was able to do that. It was harder for me to do that in Canva than it was in Word. Okay, thank you. Yep, and I put a sticker so it's not so white on here, and it's a green sticker. So that sticker that you guys are getting is really close to the green that I used. That was the closest I could get. So I couldn't cut, because when you do a thermal printer only prints in black. So that is why, part of the reason why I chose the colors for my business is because I wanted to decrease the cost of all the labels and all that kind of stuff that I do. And so with that, black is one of my colors. So that's what I did here. So my white labels, I could make this green if I wanted to, but I just chose white because they are actually they're less expensive than the colored labels. But to make this, if I did a white one here, it just would be still blah. That's why I put a green one on here. I Googled and I find on Amazon different boxes. And that's how I found my boxes. I just went to Amazon and purchased them. I looked at going to different suppliers. I've signed up to get quotes from different suppliers on how much in bulk I would buy the boxes. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it was cheaper to do it through Amazon. All right. I'm just looking back at those. Yep, you can stamp it. You can put tissue. You can do whatever you want to make it so it isn't blah. And if you went with that craft color, which is the inside here color of the box, you can do something with that too. I just didn't think this to me, this is brown, beige, whatever you want to call it, went with the aesthetics of my colors of the company. So that's why I went with white. Literally, if you have this color in your, there's a lady that is in Australia that I watch her videos, and she uses a pink because that's her color. So she pays extra to have the pink boxes. So really, truly, it's up to, you got to think about when you're making the decisions about what you're going to mail with, the colors of your branding. So my poly mailers, they're a shade of gray. If you guys have really looked at them, they are a very light gray. I didn't go with white because everybody uses white. And I wanted to be a little bit different, but I didn't want it to be like starking, like whoosh different. So I went with a gray. So that is, and then if you got jewelry, right now the bag I'm using is this. These are just little shopping bags. I don't know if you guys have saw that when you've opened them, for those that have purchased jewelry. They literally are these bags, and then I put the jewelry in, and then I just fold it down, and then I put the sticker on it. It's very simple. The I was gonna say the tags I made, I've kept it into my branding and not had to spend a whole bunch of money doing it. Yep. So then my poly mailers, I ended up buying them in bulk on Amazon. I bought a 3-year supply. And I am into year 1. And I still have enough that I know I'll get through next year. The 2024, I'll have to buy more in 2025. But I just did a bulk order on Amazon. And the poly mailer size, I think, is 10 by 7. Let me grab the poly mailers. Because you got to have a little bit bigger than your box. So, thank you to the Novelty Nook for a follow. So this is my poly mailer. See, it's a very light wet gray. If you hold it up, I'm going to hold it up against white. You will see it is gray. But when you look at it, it doesn't look it. It's just a very subtle gray. All right, I'm measuring here. The poly mailers are 10.5 by 7.5. Yeah. Yep, you can think it is. When you put it up against different whites, it's not. Uh-oh, somebody was filtered. Yep. These I get from Amazon. And I order them, this size, I order, it's either 200 or 300, depending on how they package it at a time. And I go through, just to let you guys know. So when I order, I try to order to have 3 months supply of the boxes on hand. And I know that sounds really weird, but on these, I ordered the last time and I ended up ordering with this one came 200 to a thing. Or the bundles were 50, sorry. They were 50 in a bundle, and I ordered They did it where you could get it in 200 or 50. I ended up going with 2 of the 200 bundles. Which one they came? They were 4 bundles of 50. Don't ask me. So yes, so that is how I order these. But that 400 now will probably last me for 6 months instead of 3 months. And I got a better deal by doing that. But those are some expenses that if you're just starting, you can order these like at 20. And then you're not out so much money. Because we talked about with our budget, you got to watch how much you're spending and then put it back into the business. And I'm at a point where I can order 6 months supply of these at a time. And it doesn't like make me go into shock about spending the money. And I don't know how else to put it, because you know what, as business owners, sometimes the expenses of doing things put us into shock. Yeah, so I'm going to show here. I'm going to do this acrylic one, I think. Yeah, this one isn't completely full, but this is the trays. They come completely full. There's individual. You get 3 large. You get 10 of the medium. You get 16, I think is what we counted, of the small. And then you get a row of minis. And there's a lid and the tray. And then these are all individual, so they don't, you have to open it up to take the beads out. Like that. So that is the trays. And they are Elizabeth Ward's bead design, or bead storage solutions. I have to read the tag on the back every time. So that is how I store most of my beads. I have like over 200 of them. So when you guys get the freebies, I put them in an organza bag rather than in this bag. It was Elizabeth Ward's bead design, or bead storage solution is the name of who it is. You can Google them and find them, Amazon and different places. And so the labels on my bags, I will tell you the funny on that too. So like these organza bags here where we have the bead soup, they are multicolored. I ordered them so that if people were at my in-person shows and wanted to give it as a gift, I would have these available for them to do a gift. They don't match my color scheme, but I have them available, so I am using them. And I have like 3 different sizes. Oh, you're very welcome. You can ask any questions. This is chat time. We just chose that we were going to talk about shipping because we were on it on our last tutorial day. So I had just do multiple colors. That is the one thing that doesn't follow my color scheme. And I'm okay with it because I have hundreds of those too that I need to use. And I kid you not. So like, here's the large one. This whole entire bin is full of different organza bags that are large. And I don't use these very often. So that's why when I get them out, I'm like, oh yeah, I can get rid of them. The small one, I don't even have a bin full. I actually have bags that I have of them. So, yeah. So, the labels that I use for the thermal printer. So, every time I go to do labels, I actually search and find where they're the cheapest. I buy them in bulk. So this size here, this is the 1x2 label. I bought in bulk and I got 20 rolls of it. And that is the same size that I use for the bags. And I don't use them very often. Not like the labels for the beads that I sell. And so when we do the live events for the jewelry, I end up writing who claimed that item on one of these. And when we do the giveaways, I write who won it and put it in the bag. So I reuse these, but when you write on thermal printer labels, ballpoint pens don't work. So that's why you guys will always see me doing Sharpies. So that is what, and then the ones that we do currently for the bead bags, those labels, when I Googled and got the deal that I got for that one that I bought, once again, I think it was 24 rolls this time of that one, they stick and you cannot reuse the bag. And I'm sorry, because I am a reuser of the bag person, but those labels stick. I have 3 more rolls of those, and then I'll have to buy more. So once I buy more, hopefully the next one won't stick as much so you guys can reuse the bags. So that is, because I am all about reusing your little bags that you get. I reuse, like, when the jewelry that I store it in when I'm going to sell is in the baggies, and I reuse those baggies. When I'm doing my bead sales, everything is in a sandwich size Ziploc bag because that fits the thermal printer label that I use to do the description on and then write down who claimed what. I reuse those baggies until they die. So just to let you guys know that I am one that just like you. And when I'm trying to like do those labels, I'm like, seriously, these stick. So let's cross that the next time it doesn't get sticky. All right. So the question is from Sweetheart Strings. Is free shipping a good idea when you're starting? How do you know when and how much of the sale? Okay, good question. So when I first started on Etsy, because that's where I started. Well, I did have a GoDaddy website, and it was just too much to do that one back in the day. So then I got offline. And then when I wanted, during the, right before the pandemic, I decided I would do an Etsy shop. And so I did Etsy. And at that time, Etsy let you charge shipping, and you would still be on like the first page type scenario. So I charged shipping. And then when Etsy decided that you should give free shipping, and they gave the people who did free shipping priority over everybody else, I took a lot of things down from Etsy. Reason being that my prices of my items are, I can't afford to send one bracelet out for free shipping in the way that I package things up. Because I might charge $5 for the bracelet, and when you get all the fees on it, and then you would pay for the shipping, I made no money. So I knew one item, free shipping, wasn't it. I would rather go with a specific dollar amount and to get the free shipping. And the reason being, and the decisions that I made on it to get there, was if I did it at a certain price point, like if I am selling jewelry on my website and my website says free shipping, you think, ooh, let me just add a couple of, like if I had $20 worth of items and my shipping was $4.95, if I go out and purchase one more item, I get a $5 item. I now have free shipping and I have one more item. That is how I shop and the mentality I think of. So that is why I decided on $25 for my free shipping. With the way the discounts are on Shopify, the $25 has been okay for me to be at. I still make a profit for my business with that. Shopify in November renegotiated contracts, and the prices of the items went up. So like before, when you guys heard me talk about that priority poly mailer, before November, it was $8.30 to mail it. Now it's $8.80. That's 50 cents difference. So I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but I need to, and it's one of my goals. Remember we talked about write your goals down for 2024? One of my goals for 2024 is to determine, is $25 still the right amount, or do I need to go to 30? I don't want to go to 30 if I don't have to, but I need to do what's right for the business and making sure my business is profitable. And so that is one of the items I will look at in 2024. First part of 2024, no. So don't worry, I'm not changing the $25 amount anytime soon. But that is literally where it comes from. Deciding that amount, what I take into consideration for it is the cost of each item to create, to the cost of the materials for it, and because the things that I need to think about are, do I need to increase the cost of my items for just a little bit to offset that 50 cents? Or what do I need to do? Or do I go to 30? So those are the things to think about. I mean, I have it in my goals for this next year to look into, if you guys go out to my website, because when I did in-person shows, I had my young children with me when I started doing it. To make things math-wise easy for them, to help me out, everything was like, you guys will notice, it is like a $2.50, $3, $3.50, $4. It might be $3.75. Those were the reasons I made the decision for that, is that I made sure the cost of the taxes that I'd have to be paying in the state, because when you do in-person events, you do have to pay taxes in those states. So to include that, it made math easy for them. Like the state of Nebraska, you cannot include the tax in the price. You have to add it on there. And so I made a business decision to not do things in Nebraska to make it easier for my kids when they were helping me out in the shows. It slowed us down to have to calculate out the tax at checkout. So I do have it as part of my goals for 2024, is to determine, do I need to get away from that even dollar amount on my items on my website? And if I do that, will it offset the cost of the increase in the postage, or do I need to go to 30? So it's a really in-depth analysis that I need to do. And it doesn't have to be like spreadsheets after spreadsheets. It's really truly just trying to find that sweet spot. And the one thing you always need to think about in business is that you need to figure out how to pivot. If I'm not making the money that I need to make my business profitable, I need to make a change. All right. Thanks, Chris, for getting everybody talked into getting us. We got 11,000. So good. Thank you. So with the time that we're at, I'm going to say, let's do a number. 1 through 50. Okay. Do a number, and I am going to go into, that is funny. So go ahead in the comments and put the number. I'm going to bring up my backup account so I can flip back and forth through the comments to find out who did it right. Or not right, who did it first. So hold on. Is this my backup account? Nope. Let me get to my backup account. I didn't bring it up because of having the other one. So let's do it this way. There it is. So it's between 1 and 50. All right. I got some winners. I just got to find the first one. I don't hire somebody. I do that, Rose. So Heidi, you are the winner. The number is 40. So Heidi is the winner. All right. Congratulations, Miss Heidi. All right. Let's see what we got here. Ooh. So you have your choice between jewelry, and I grabbed the beige glass pearl bracelet, and that was a size medium. Or did you want a color of bead soup? And I have black, purple, orange, red, pink, and 2 greens left. So you have to decide if you want this, and if you want the bead soup, you just got to tell me the color. Hi, Zuli. Purple bead soup, please. Okay, got it for you. Um, my background is analysis of stuff. And the thing is that you can sit there and process until you can't make a decision. My full-time job is to be able to offer different solutions and get the information for the different solutions to determine an answer. So that is where my brain functions at. Don't ask me how I ended up being kind of creative in a way when my true like is analysis. And so I literally will sit there and like, when it came to doing the thermal printer versus a inkjet, how my brain runs is, okay, how much does it cost for each label to be bought, and how many labels am I going to print on it? That determines how much the cost per label it would be for thermal printer. The cost per label for the inkjet, it would be the printer, the ink cartridges, and the labels that I'm making. And so when it came down to it, at the end of the day, that is how I took those numbers, crunched them, figured it out, and said, okay, this is why I'm making the decision. And if you guys need help with that, yep. And so if you guys need help with that, just let me know. I can help walk you through the process. It isn't everybody's brain thoughts. And Chris, that is so cool that you do an analysis too. But it really truly is figuring out different options. Oh, thank you, Zuli, for the garland. Oh, that is cool. I've never seen that before. Thank you. Oh, you are so sweet. That is cool. I love it. Ah, see, and I don't have a problem. I sit down and do that. And my husband, even when he is doing repairs for the cars, that type of thing, I'm 100%, we sit down and analyze, is it going to, I do the analysis. So literally, like you guys know with my husband, he will take a car, fix it up, and resell it. So what we do is we look at the car, he writes down a list, he looks up the prices of the parts. I take the prices of the parts and I review what the cost of the car is plus what it would sell at once it's done. And then we add it all up. I give him the numbers of what it would be, and then he has to decide for his time that will take him to do it, is this a profitable car to do? So yeah. Yep, you just have to end up like getting it to a point that you just have to decide. You can do 20 bazillion different ones. Keep it simple. Keep your analysis to 3 things or less so that you're only analyzing 3 things. Once you bring in 10, it's analysis paralysis is what it's called. Nope, not doing beads today. Next bead sale is going to be Tuesday at 8 p.m. But by doing that, by keeping it to 3 or less, that takes away your analysis paralysis. And don't keep thinking it. Like literally when it comes to the boxes, I just go and Google and then do that. And I actually did reach out to different vendors to see if they could give me more information. I agree, Zuli. Everybody is so kind. That's why I love being here. That's why I don't mind sharing about my business. I've actually had family members go, why do you do that? And I'm like, because I want everybody else to succeed. You guys, to me, we are in competition together, but we're not near each other. We don't take from each other. But if I can give you a piece of advice or someone else can give you a piece of advice, we got to share. Because thank you, Zuli, for the heart me. If we don't do it, we sit there and spin, and then it just causes failure. And I don't think we should be failures. Thank you. You guys are very kind. But literally, if I would have had, and this is what we were talking about the other night when I could not say mod. to me, we can mentor with each other. And to me, this is mentoring. So that is, you know what? Just like today, when Rachel was like, she brought up that she's using PayPal. And that is great because then that brings us another perspective of like how she does it. South Dakota. So yeah, so that's where that's what we do. I think is just the way we are. Okay, I was gonna say, Rachel, I think if you would pick up some other people along the way, they would want to come and just take my beads. We had a discussion on that the other day. And I'm not near. So yeah, this is the weird thing about states. Do we all know how big each state is? Heck no. And people always sat there and thought I was either right at the base of Mount Rushmore, and I'm not. I am actually about 5-ish hours away from Mount Rushmore. And then you will get, if you're like are you by Minnesota? Yes, I am by Minnesota. It is actually like, from my house to Iowa is a 15-minute drive. From my house to Minnesota is probably a 25-minute drive. So yeah, I am in the southern part of South Dakota on the east side. I did not mention pirate ship. So what, do you use pirate ship, Zuli? Let's see if my finger went down. I could put my, oh good, yes. I hate not wearing my wedding ring. Up that. I don't know why I didn't eat that much salt yesterday, but my hands are swollen today. How was your experience with pirate ship? Was it a good one? Or I know you've changed, so then do you want to share? I'm trying to think about the one that I looked at. Okay. I might have to look into that. Okay, so those of you, one thing that I will let you guys know is that when I go live on YouTube, because they're on my phone over here, they allow me to save my live videos. They don't post like that day, but like they will post overnight. So tomorrow, if you guys miss one of my lives here, it will be in the live category on YouTube if I've used YouTube to do my live. So everything that we have talked about today here on our live with about shipping will be available on YouTube. I did not realize YouTube did that until I did my first video. And guess what? I am ecstatic. Okay, Rose says she doesn't know if it saves chats, but I'll go back tomorrow and I will look and see if it saved the chat or not. So, but you will at least get what I've said. We'll find out. And you're not going to get the TikTok chat because that's on TikTok. So we will do it over there. And I even had thought about TikTok allows you to download your lives, but it takes hours. And then you have to save it to a device that will then allow you to upload it into YouTube. And that was taking me like a lot of time to do that. And I just decided, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I mean, and we're talking when the download for TikTok, it will take 4 to 5 hours to download one of my lives. That's a lot. Okay, I am going to write down pirate ship. I want to look into that because maybe that is what I need to use instead of creating the invoice within PayPal or within Shopify for that 1 cent. Yes, it does take up a lot of space. And so I literally was not able to do that because I didn't have any. If I did it on my phone, if I downloaded it from my phone and then wanted to upload it from my phone to YouTube, I didn't have any space left on my phone because I don't buy the biggest memory for my phones because I don't need it, and I just didn't want to do it. So no, I don't want to. That's why I stopped doing it. I did it a couple of times. You'll see out on YouTube, there's a couple of uploads of my bead sales, and then I stopped because I figured if someone missed it, they could comment and let me know. But then we started selling out on the beads a lot more than when we did it in the beginning. So then I'm like, yeah, nope, we don't want to do that because that doesn't give a positive environment for someone when they're like, yep, that one's not available. Yep, that one's not available. Yep, that one's not available. I ended up, I have one phone. The one that I use for TikTok is my personal phone and my business phone. And then I bought a second phone that I'm using right now that I am doing the YouTube on. And that one is a business only phone. And I don't buy cloud space either. Ah, there you go. And that's the one thing that I didn't do the Square invoice cost analysis. I did go out to see on PayPal, and PayPal was more expensive than doing my Shopify invoices the way I do that. And I should go look. Thank you for that Square invoice. Because what I want to do is find out what is the cheaper way to invoice on my live events. So if Square was cheaper than Shopify, then I would do that. Because then you would just pay through Square. Yep. So thank you, Sour Rose, for that. Because then I'm going to go add that to my list of stuff to do. And that's what we have to do as business owners, is constantly look at it. And once you make a decision, the one thing I want to say too is that we need to constantly review it. And what I mean by constant review is that every 2 years, you should reviewing to make sure what you're using is at the cost-effective mode for you. Just like I will always tell you guys, people will stay with the same insurance company because that's what they know. That's just what they do. That is it. I will say I shop for my insurance every 18 months to 2 years to make sure that my insurance carrier is giving me the best rates for what I'm needing for my needs and my family's needs. And that is just part of making sure that, you're getting what's best for you. And it could come down to, you know what, I might pay $20 more, but I have better coverage. So that is literally what you need to do. You always need to do those reviews. Yep, great advice there, Rachel. When we have these new technologies, you need to look. So, yep. But I literally have on my list of goals for the 2024, looking at different things to make sure. If I don't write it down, I'm going to forget it. I've got it written down, and I'm going to, when I do my monthly goal planning, I will include that one item in a certain month. It doesn't mean my whole list needs to be done for 2024 in January. What it means is during 2024, I want to review this. I want to look at this. I want to do this. And that way, when I write my monthly goals, I include it in it. And then from my monthly goals, I do write daily goals. It sounds like a lot of work, but it ends up being to where I then can manage what I need to do and I don't feel overwhelmed. I break it up into smaller chunks. Because when you look at a list that is like over a page long of goals, that can make you stop from doing it. But one of my goals is that I write my monthly goals. And so then I can take all those other ones and break them down into 12 chunks. And then from 12 chunks, I can go down to 31, between 28 and 31 in the month. And one goal might take me 2 weeks to do, and that's okay. But it helps you narrow it down and not get overwhelmed and stop working towards progress. If you're someone that has ADHD, once you see that list, it becomes overwhelming. And so then you stop because you don't want to go. You just got to do one thing at a time. And that might be having a spouse help you with it. Because when you look at the list, it's too big. If a spouse needs to help you out and say, okay, today, this is what we're working on, then that's you working as a unified team if you have that person. If you do not have a partner or spouse, finding a friend to help you with it truly helps. Us being here, we will help you. But I don't want you guys to get so overwhelmed with your businesses because you have goals that you don't do them. Just like we talked about earlier about all the analysis that you need to do not get analysis paralysis. Do not get into goal like overwhelmingness. All right. Any more questions today? This has been a fun chat. It was more of a tutorial than a chat, but it has been fun. So thank you. We can add that to our list because we have 2 chats next week. We have one on Wednesday night and we will have one on Saturday. So for me, it depends on the cost of it. Hold on, let me do some math here. Let me find my calculator on this. There it is. What was your comment? I don't know. I saw your comment. Did you see my comment? But if I missed one that you wanted an answer to, then let me just repeat it. Okay. Whoops. Whoops, I did the wrong math. Hold on. It's around $5. I didn't know the actual amount until I just did this. Because I know how many orders I had. I know how much my total cost in shipping has been so far this year. So it's around $5 a package. But the thing that I have to think about when I'm determining my cost on the items with my shipping is that what is just for the shipping supplies is around 75 cents for the boxes. The boxes is the most expensive part. So I've got them down to 75 cents for the shipping supplies and $5 for each for the postage. So I have to look at and determining that is on the how many items are going in that box to determine how much per item do I put into that to do that. Remember when we've done the tutorial on pricing and I said you gotta like know these costs to put it into the price, and I figured out on the beads how much I need to charge for those. So that's where I get it. Now, if I didn't do this box and I did a bubble poly mailer instead, it would bring it down by 30 cents. So that means that instead of 75 cents, it would be 45 cents. So I just choose to do that this way so that you guys will get your products in one piece. Yes, that's another thing. Thanks, Joya, for saying that. Oh, thank you for saying that. Because my biggest thing is the beads, when this is something I learned. And I will tell you guys, we all have to learn from each other. So with the little baggies that I send the beads in is that baggie, if I used a 1.2 millimeter size bag, um when you guys would receive them, the bag would be open. I never thought about the thickness of the bag makes a difference on if you're going to receive it with the bag closed. So when I first started doing this, and I got a couple of people that were like, my bags were open when I got it, I was like, I can tell you, I was mortified. I was like, I am so sorry. I ended up not having to put as many beads in it, so I had to use more baggies until I got my supply of, if I do 1.8 or 2 millimeter size thickness of bags, it works fine. So you know, from the beginning to now, if you would have noticed, my bags have changed in just the thickness of the bag. Is it a little bit more expensive? Yes. But did you have a good experience? Yes. Does that make it worth it? Oh yeah. So those are some of the things that you got to think about, is how do we do that? And so when I do the actual jewelry making, the glass pendants are really were scary for me. I got little bubble wraps. So when I order my jewelry in, some of it will, or not my jewelry, when I order the beads in, they will have those little like envelope like bubble things. Yes, knock on wood. Wood behind me. And so I started reusing those. I didn't pay for those. I'm reusing something that I got. So when we talk about reuse, that I reuse them and send them out that way. I have glass pendants that I can sell to you guys on a bead sale, but I don't have enough of those bubble mail or those little bubble things to do it. So I haven't done it. And I was talking to my daughter about it, and she's like, Mom, you can get them on this website. And we looked at it, and I'm like, oh my Lord, I need to order some. Have I ordered them yet? No. Do I need to? Yeah. Yep. So that's literally where I have sat there and like tried very hard. And so when I get feedback from you guys, when you guys messaging me that, I'm like, yep. Ooh, I got what you were saying. And you know what? We actually have a sealer. Because remember, I am the queen of finding bargains. So when we buy meat, not our beef, because we buy beef from friends and get it processed for us, but like when we buy chicken or pork chops and that type of stuff, or pork loins, we buy them in bulk and then cut them down to what we need and vacuum seal them. I'm like, I wonder if I could use that. Okay. Because of all things, my bubble wrap that you guys get in boxes, if you actually get bubble wrap, some people will get bubble wrap because of the, if you get the bigger boxes, it's actually, there'll be bubble wrap in there. When I order from my wholesalers or warehouses type thing, they will bubble wrap it, and I will reuse the bubble wrap even. I don't buy bubble wrap. I told you guys, I'm a reuser. Yep. I will look into that. Thanks for the idea. And my husband is the sealer guy, so I can have him work on that. I like, that is just how I am. You guys are gonna laugh. I was brought up that way, and when I was a kid, I was like, oh, I hate that my mom does that. Oh, I hate that, that thing, whatever. But now as an adult, I'm like, I'm gonna do it. So I've got different size bubble wrap, so I'll look. So let me find out. And we don't have one of the chip sealers because we do chip clips. And so if anybody heard me talk about Bryland's, or sorry, Buttercup, we don't say her name, Buttercup's Christmas list, She had on there, she just wanted a bag of chips because she loves chips. And so my husband even got her chip clips as part of her Christmas present. It is a pretty name. It's just uncommon, and my daughter doesn't want people to like find her, and for her safety. But literally, um, thanks. Um, so they, so yeah, so we do chip clips for everything for it when we're doing bags like that. I will tell you guys how her name came about. Is she is actually named after 5 people with her full name. She has a combination of her grandpa and her mom for her first name. First middle name is my middle name, and then her second middle name is a combination of her dad and her aunt's names. So she is actually named after 5 people. So, and it was funny because we asked her what her initials were. So you guys would all, if you guys all know, my middle name is Joe. So my real name is Carol Jo, and that's what I named my business is after my name, my first and middle name. So the other day we asked her what her initials are because of having 2 middle names. Her reply, I thought this was so cute, was B Joe K A. And we're like, honey, it's J, not Joe. So yes. Oh, not very many people have it. So that's so cool. Whew. See, we didn't look at initials, and I looked at my daughter, and I'm like, the initials that first 2 with Buttercup are like, yeet. Yeah, some people don't think about it, and when they name them, and you're just like, Yep. So we started, when I had kids, we started doing it. Aw. So yes, so that would be how she ended up with the name. But we won't say what it is because my daughter doesn't want it out in the world. That's why we call her Buttercup. But she is so funny. I love that. She's so funny because she knows I goof it up. Aw. I've always wondered about Tuesday with a name like that. It's so because it's so different, but it's so unique. I love it. And I mean, people talk about like Wednesday Adams, and so people started doing Wednesday, but I'm like Tuesday. But that is cool. All right. Well, I was going to say, I am probably going to get going here. We've been going for a little bit longer than normal, but that's okay. It's a Saturday for me. I am working on getting the beads ready for Tuesday night. I will have some gemstones. I don't know all the sizes yet. I do have some glass coming, and I will have a couple of donuts. I will have head pins. And I know the song. When you said it was a song, I'm like, I know the song. That is so cool. I will do chain on Friday night. Silver chain will be Friday night. I won't have time to get the head pins and the chain ready for Tuesday night. If I do have chain on Tuesday night, it's because I had extra time. But I think Ryan has a lot of stuff planned for the next 2 days. Okay, that is totally fine. And then Monday night, we are going to be doing a tutorial. Monday night's tutorial is going to be layered necklaces. And I was thinking about on the live how we can do that layered with multiple, for different metal colors and different bead colors in it. And then I was thinking doing one, so one set will be different metals and colors, and then the second set will be the same metal with the same thing in a layered look. So we're going to do that on Monday night. And as I say, Rose, because my husband this morning on his way to work forgot to take the bag, I'm going to package up your order today. And then I have a second one that came in while we were on the live, but I don't know who it was. I'm going to package up those two and include them with the ones that I did yesterday, and they will go out. I'm going to go take them to the post office today. And on the tutorials, I'm going to try to do those also on YouTube so that they will be in the live section of that. Yeah, I was not happy with him. I love my husband. We all know you can have the not happy moments and still love them because of decisions that he made last night with friends. I'm like, dude, really? They all got together and we're just, can we just say stupid men? Oh, I'm not. I'm going to just do it. Nope, I will not. I will not be hungover on Monday. I do not actually drink. So if my husband can count on one hand pretty much how many times I've even drank alcohol we're almost together 17 years. Yep. I sit there and it's just like, you just have those feelings, but you know what? You love them so much that you learn how to forgive and move on. So we do not go out on New Year's Eve or St. Patrick's Day normally because we call those amateur nights. That's the words we use because people that normally don't go out, go out. We would just rather be staying home and be safe. So that is how we bring in the new year every year is we just get appetizers, cook them on our on the pizzazz and on the air fryers and just eat them and watch TV. That's literally how we bring in the new year every year. We did go to one person's party a couple of years ago and it just wasn't, we're just like, yeah, we don't have to do that again. Just so that's the way we are. Wow. See, and we know another person that was in that same, and he is now 60 years old. Yeah. Usually Ryan falls asleep on the couch. I've hit that age, and I don't know about some of you, the women, you hit that age where you just can't sleep all the time. The last 2 months have been really bad for me, so I'll probably be up, but he probably won't. So yes, so that is how we are going to be bringing in the new year is just sitting on our couch. I hope the rest of you, since we were not going to meet again until January 1st, I hope you guys all have a happy and safe New Year's Eve and bring in the New Year's in a wonderful way. So I will see you. This sounds so weird to say. I'll see you in 2024. It just kind of said it's sad, but it isn't. It's happy. We have a great year. We're going to have an awesome year next year. So thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next year. Bye.